one. This is Tom and Pete from NWP, and it is for some dumb reason 12:30 in the morning because we had some fun playtesting some of the new set that's been revealed, but Pete did have this spicy, extra hot, spicy crap.
Jalapeno spec spicy.
Jalapeno spec spicy. Yellow Broly BR deck, which is pretty darn lit, not gonna lie. He got 2 games in and won both. So I'll let you kick it off, because this is sick.
Hello lads, it's Pete from NWP, here with something a little different to what you usually see. Obviously everyone, is still on the hype with me, Icarus for yellow being the top dog, this and that, but I think this is an underrated leader. Basically, Yellow Broly BR.
It's an old one.
It's a bit of an old one, set 6.5 to set 7 when it first came out, and as we know, it was that much of a powerhouse back then. Had to be errated, but I still think it's decently playable. If they do hit Icarus, I definitely think it's one of the contenders that can potentially either take its spot or be another playable yellow leader. So basically, unawakened, when you swing, you take a life, ping yourself, and then you draw a card if you do, and then you untap 2 energy. The untap 2 energy compared to the drawing 2 is actually really handy. So a lot of the time to extend your plays, which basically attracted me back to this leader. And then Awakened, I actually think, to be honest, Awakened is actually one of the best leaders in the game, even now. Even errated is still very good. When he attacks, auto draw one, not once per turn. Activate main, you can tap down anything, no cost restriction battle card wise, which actually triggers a crap load of things. Poutine, Bergamo, like all the broken stuff, or just can tap down blockers so you can get in there. And then it's got the activate main, which this is a errated part. It used to be basically you can untap anything himself, energy, any battle card, but they errated to just himself, any Broly BR battle card in your battle area, which is still relevant because like in a kill turn you essentially can become a dual attack leader and everything, so which is really good.
I remember back in the day it used to be like extend, tap yourself out, then take a life, untap an energy, overwhelm mirror, and then put a
pretty much bad ring, the good old days. But I basically Broly BL, DBS Broly's my boy, so that's basically why I always love coming back to this leader. So
good stuff.
That's the leader, and then we're just gonna start with like the the generic, basically good, good yellow card stuff. Yeah, basically. So 3/1 drop slug, draw a card, activate main. Going to the 3-drop here. Or funny enough, basically, this card deserves to be banned, guys. For you, any of you who don't know, when this card's it's got barrier for starters, and then when this card's in rest mode, basically, and there's another card on board, Bond 2, which I'm going to show you another card very shortly that pairs very well with this card. Your opponent cannot draw wide cards from the deck with any skills outside of leader skills, which is so backbreaking. It's kind of like a hand control card in itself.
Just super combos are dead. Everything.
Basically any search cards. So Bandai, if you listen to this, please hit this card because it shouldn't exist. That card. Then we're basically doing. This is pretty self-explanatory. We're a mono yellow Saiyan leader, so
pretty self-explanatory.
That's 4 tells. Basically, most of you guys should know what this does. Basically, pop a card in rest mode, draw one, or pop 2 cards in rest mode, anything. So. Running those guys.
Just good old yellow staples.
Basically, then for super combo, I've gone with like the bond deck 1, draw 2, consistent, see more cards.
Yeah, and I think for the way you run this, it's definitely the super combo of the deck.
Exactly. So 4 of that. Then we've gone with 3 monkeys, just for a bit of extra draw power in case we can't run into any maybe hand control and everything. It's just good. Say any turns where you want to like basically pass turns. You've maybe in this deck we can pop things during our opponent's turn, so which is nice. So you can actually just basically tap to draw back up and then leave the energy for, active mode for whatever plays. So 3 monkeys. Then this is where it gets a little spicy. We're running for the last anniversary box in 2021, Arrival Broly. Now, for you guys who don't know what this does, it's actually a powerhouse, especially coupled with some of the other cards that I've put in the deck to work well with it. It's blocker 19k, Arrival for yellow-green for 1 yellow or 1 green. On play, basically, he gets to choose a 4 or less battle card, negate its skills, KO it. That's his first effect. His second effect is activate main once per turn, switch him to rest. and choose one of your opponent's no cost restriction for this one, skillless battle cards, and KO it. Which is actually really insane in tandem with basically another card I'm going to show you guys very shortly. But this guy is good for popping stuff during the opponent's turn, or if you just want basically that extra blocker, which is really good. And he pairs extremely well with 1, 2, 3, 4. Surprise, surprise. We're not a green deck, but we can still run some hand control cards in this.
Yep.
Most of you should know what this does, but basically, in case you don't, choose the Master Deity's Wrath. If you have 3 more energy for 1 colorless, hence why we can play it in this deck, you can sack off a what's the wording again? Let's see. Sack off a 5 cost battle card or any number of battle cards that equal up to, let's see again,
like
5 and with 5,000 power or more, and play this card. So what is pretty insane, rival this in, pop something, get a swing and whatever else, then sack it off, play one of these guys, and then this guy on swing, he's indestructible for starters, which is a lot of colors can't deal with that. Then you swing, and then basically your opponent discards a card every single time you swing with this. So this is just like a mega value. If you like, you can easily like get a couple of these guys on board with this deck.
Yep.
And you're swinging and basically needing 2 cards a turn out of your opponent's hand, which is actually quite insane.
Yeah, and that paired with the slug, considering that's indestructible, slug's already got barrier. That's just not a fun time.
So basically, essentially, this guy having indestructible with the where is it? With the slug here, have him in rest. It's like, honestly, there's only very niche cards, very specific cards in the game that can out these two, and it's like you're discarding a card every turn. They're not drawing cards from super combos. This is like kind of like a little mini lock, which is pretty insane.
And you kind of want them to attack into the slug.
Oh, exactly. It essentially becomes a deadly defender and everything, which is actually like quite insane. So,
like in our game, I wasted so many cards just trying to attack into it because I had no other.
Like you had to final flash, and even then, it's like, unless you like remove it. On top of that, with like how much defense yellow has, it's pretty nasty. So, like if you basically, like I said, you can easily get 2 of these guys out on the board, and when you do, like a couple of turns of swinging your opponent with these guys will basically you'll run away with the game.
Absolutely.
Which is really nice. So, running those guys, and then to facilitate the arrivaling of this guy, we're running 2 of this Android 13 and 2 of this Android 13. It's kind of like, honestly, it doesn't matter for their additional effects. The main thing as to why you're running these cards, if your leader card is yellow, in a nutshell, these cards become free to combo with, so they become 0 plus 5k combo cards, yellow green, that are fought off for basically rivaling this Broly in and everything. You can run 4 of this guy, 4 of this guy. It doesn't really matter. I was just being a bit lazy, so I just grabbed 2 and 2.
I mean, if you can. Because you have to pay green for the successor.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, if you don't care late game about the super combo, you can charge one of these, but you don't really want to.
Yeah.
I mean, randomly might come up this guy basically. You can rival him in for yellow, and when you do, because you say if you have him or another copy of him in your combo area, you can actually boost it up by an extra 5k. So it can randomly come up, or you can come in as another beat stick for like 15k. So.
But essentially, they serve the same purpose.
Yeah, basically. So, running them. And then, not much needing to be said here. We're running 4 a post. Most of you should know what this does. If not, it's basically yellow's floodgate. When he's played, your opponent has to basically tap a card, period, every single time they swing, except unison cards. Everything is affected except unison cards. So if your opponent wants to attack with any non-unison cards for the turn, they have to tap a card, which can be pretty bad, backbreaking. Running that, then overall choice, 2 secret IDs. Shout out to Tom for the judge rarity.
You're welcome.
Showcasing this video. Not much needing to be said. Overall 6 with 0 energy, clear a board. I hope you just get rid of like any of those free blocker negate tokens and everything. Free block and negate tokens so you can just go for the game. And 25k beat stick, it's pretty big, so
it's still arguably one of the best overruns in the game.
Honestly, I'd probably argue the top 3 would have to be 10 drop through this and the SS4 Bardock overrun and everything. So yeah, it's definitely in the top 3 in my opinion. Then basically some of the one-offs, 1 Champa, it's like an additional secret. We've gone with Pan for choice. Most of you should know what she does. Pretty insane. Gets reduced by 2 for every battle card in your area and your opponent's battle area. And then basically a counter attack. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn, so pretty insane.
Yeah.
Another secret rare, basically. Bergamo. Busted card should probably be banned, shouldn't exist. Cooler and everything. Wins games. Like, that's also another contender in my opinion that should be banned. The other secret, because our leader card is a Freeze's army card, so we're essentially running 1, 2, 3 secrets in this deck. Basically, this probably doesn't need much explaining, but in case you didn't know, this is a card that was so powerful back in the day, it needed to be put down to 1. Counterplay, if the battle card being played, no cost restriction, is played with skills negated for the turn, so pretty insane.
Yep.
So there's those.
I remember back in the day where I was able to run 4 of them. I was having a good time.
Legit on. Basically, a lot of people were. And then, now, we're running 4 Final Flash in this deck, but you might think that's probably overkill. But I'll explain why. So Final Flash, you guys should know what it does. Negate the skills of an opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, activate battle.
Card.
The main reason we've maxed it out in this deck is because it couples well with this Broly. So as I explained earlier, you basically when he comes into play, you negate the skills of 4 or less and everything. But what you can do is, say your opponent swings with something that's higher than a 4 cost and you want to pop it mid-battle. What's really broken? You activate this, so you basically negated skills, right? You arrival this guy in, that battle card has become a skillless, you switch this guy to rest mode and then you pop that battle card.
Yep.
So basically during our last games, Tom played the Celzino cigarette. Thankfully, I was lucky and he didn't snipe my additional copy of this, and I had one of the Arrival, photo cards and everything. I basically went Final Flash it, Arrival this Broly and everything, then switched to rest mode and popped his Celzino, which is really insane. This essentially can out just about anything in the game that, when they're swinging, yeah.
It pretty much can, because when you think about it, like even Indestructible, Final Flash will negate these skills, so Indestructible's no longer there. Pretty
much. The only thing I can think of is like the 1-drop Sin Shenron balls that are unaffected by your opponent's card skills.
Yeah.
I doubt there's ever going to be a time where your opponent's going to kill you with that card. If your opponent's put you in a position where they're about to kill you with that card, you've done something majorly wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is basically like one of the main reasons and everything. This is so insane, and obviously love the artwork of this card. Looks dope. So, basically, and it's Broly. So enough said. But good old Saiyans working together and everything. There's that. Then. Last card, I should say, sorry, it's just 4 power of Super Saiyan.
Because why not?
For those of you, in case you don't know, basically, you can, if you have a mono yellow energy open, you can activate battle, or use its activate battle effects for free, which is tap an opponent's unison or battle card down, draw a card, and it's also negate. Another contender potentially for people wanting this hit, but which I don't think they will hit it and everything. I think this card, as powerful as it is, there's a lot of excuse my language, BS, aggro stuff in the game, decks that go way too wide, so this is kind of like a nice check.
And it's a hard once per turn, once you've used it once, you can't use the activate battle again that turn on that card.
Exactly. I mean, regardless whichever side of the fence you're on, if this card needs to be hit or not, I don't think Bandai's going to hit this card. It only got printed a couple of sets ago, but I could be wrong, but we'll have to see, but yeah. And that's basically the deck profile, guys.
Awesome.
Take it for a spin and everything. I think you guys will enjoy it and everything. It's just a bit of a nice break compared to playing, auto-picking Icarus and everything and playing that. And it can do some unique stuff and everything, so...
It can just keep going and going.
Pretty much. So give it a try, guys, and thank you for tuning in.
Sick.